Hi everybody, welcome back to the Artistic Talent Inc. Organization. My name is Melvin Isaac and I'm a professional artist as well as a brick house producer. Well, let me start off by saying the last time that we was here, I was basically showing you my startup business. And I started out with the abstract drawing and started out with the charcoal, put it on the canvas, and then eventually I went to the paint and completed it. And then from there, I was talking about my startup art business, how excited I was, and the things that I had to do, and the mentors and the counselors that was focusing and pushing me in the right direction. So right after that, I started working on these things of the mission that they put me on, and therefore I was so excited, which I am again because of the mission. And I went to various places, checked out my competition, and networked with a lot of people, went to a lot of workshops, and continued doing that. So it's leading me to a whole different range of what I need to do, and it's working. It's really working. So what I did after that, because I got so enthused, so excited, I started investing into different materials, and one of them was the that I had got is airbrush spray gun, because I seen the trend that a lot of people are going into body painting, and so I'm going to study that. I'm going to learn a lot about that, and then that will be part of my trend of what I'm doing now. My next part was I'm just looking at my particular style of painting, and I have a unique style of my own, and I'm into abstract and regular painting, which is portraits and black art. So with this, I just wanted to test this out, and what I did is that I purchased velvet velour fabric just to see. And these the type of, it's black velvet that they used to use back in the 70s and put the light on the back of it. But I'm not getting into all of that. I just want to see how this would affect how to look for what I need to do in my art. So I'm testing this now. And right now in the back of me here, I have a piece of art there that I just put down. It's going to be like a young girl praying. And I want to do this in abstract with most of the stuff because I like the colors. So at this point, I'm just going to draw it out, and then I'm going to put the abstract there, and then I'm going to see, and you'll see too what I'm doing. So while I'm doing this, let me just give you a recap of the filming that I did from before, so this way you can see and all the work that I got up until now. So for all y'all just tuning in, you can always catch me on Facebook because I'm just starting this startup business, and this is at my home, which is my artistic talent gallery here, until I venture out to other places. But you can catch me on Facebook, YouTube. Go to my website, which is www.artistictalentinc.web.com, and there you will see various stuff that I'm doing. And also continue watching me every Thursday on the Brick channel, and that would be on channel 67. And we also have it on Verizon FiOS, which is 42, and a lot of them in the different boroughs, which is 43, 44. So you can see me at the same time on every Thursday at 6 p.m. And the name of my show is Artistic Talent. And again, my name is Melvin Isaac, and I hope you enjoy what I'm about to do. Before I start this, I'm always going to give you something like positive, you know. And if we coming across the line, or I'll put it up, flash it up on you, and it's going to be positive quotes for artists, plus different free stuff that that I like to do. And also, if you want me to credit your particular artwork, hey, I don't mind doing that to inspire you, as well as giving you different places that you can go to for grants or startup grants or emergency grant. So I'm definitely going to give you that information as well. So with that let me start this right here. And like I said, while you're watching this, you're going to see various clips that I would, let you see of my beginning up until now. So we're going to start with this right here, and it's going to be an abstract. So basically, I'm just going to put in outline what I'm doing, and abstract is very simple. It's not that complicated. So it's mainly putting in little stuff here that I see, and these are things that I want to be doing. So this is very nice. This particular one right here has a lot of colors that I want to be working with. So I want to fast forward this so this way, you get a better idea of what I'm doing. And then when I finish it, you get to see it and listen to some part of music. I might show you, which is, jazz or opera or anything of that nature. So continue watching my show, continue doing what I'm doing, and continue inspiring yourself, because you are an artist out there, whoever's listening, and you are inspired to do the talent that you've been given through the grace of God. So the next time I see you would be my next show. Always watch it. It would be every Thursday at 6 p.m. on Brooklyn channel, which is channel Cable Vision 67, and then you can watch it on the Verizon 42, 43, 44, and different boroughs. Just look for me, and if any questions, you can always contact me at my email address, which is misaac718 and please visit my workshop and my website, which is www.artistictalentinc.web.com. Okay, let me just give you an idea of my next project. After I get this completed here, and especially if this velour velvet, black velvet, works and it looks good. So it's just a fabric and it's just on a canvas, and it's just another way of expressing myself, and it just might even blow up. But this is the next thing I want to be doing. I want to have a bigger canvas like this. This is like a 20 by 30 size. And basically what I want to do with this, I want to do a history of a journey of African American, my ancestors, from the beginning, from Africa, of going from the slave ship, or even going further, before we was slaves, the kingdom, that we had, and what caused to put us in slavery, to be brought to America on the Mayflower, and then be sold on an auction, and then going to the cotton field, the house, and then it just kept going. So what I want to do with a canvas like this is it's going to be part of a history story. They always say, you know, a picture tells 1,000 words, so this is what I'm going to express. And I think this is going to be very good because it's going to show different drawings or paintings on velvet, and it might even be in abstract. But I want to put this together, and it's going to lead you all the way up into President Obama. So it's going to lead all the way up into the beginning of you look at it as being a slave of property way back then, up until the president, a black president of the United States of America twice. So this is what you're going to see, and once you see that, I think I did my history painting to express that to the world, to the young kids, to the school, that and wherever you go at, you know, people see you see your history. So wouldn't have to wait until February of Black History Month or Martin Luther King, you know, holiday, anything like that. This would be in painting wherever it will be, you know, showcased as or exhibit, and this is what people will see from the beginning to the end, which is the first black president for 2 terms of the United States, which is the most powerful country in the world. All right, so I hope you enjoy my show. I hope you enjoy everything that you were starting to see from this. And God bless you until the next time we meet up again. Thank you very much.
My name is Eric Edwards, and I live in Brooklyn. I'm an original Brooklynite, and predominantly lived in Brooklyn for all of my life, except for 2 years sojourn in Atlanta. And my heritage is here, even though my parents are from the island of Barbados, but I was born in Brooklyn, and my roots are here. But as you can see around you, what surrounds me is my passion and love in life, is my collection of African art, which I call artifacts. And the difference between the art and the artifacts is that the art encompasses the beauty of Africa and its craftsmen over up to 2,000 years ago in Africa, which I have pieces that are over 2,000 years in my collection. But also, they're artifacts because they were utilized by the people for various reasons, whether for utilitarian items, such as accessories for daily life, weapons, tools, but also for religious purposes, as reliquary pieces that were used in funerals and prayer, or used by Babalawos, who, for the various religions, and those people who mediate between the living and the dead, and to bring comfort to the souls of those whose ancestors have passed and have risen to the realm of worship as reliquary priestly type figures, if you will, if we could put it like that. So I definitely, within my collection, encompasses the 54 countries, or some will say 55 countries of Africa. I have pieces from every particular country, and I have pieces within the collection that come from very secret societies, such as the Mende and the Temne of Sierra Leone, which were women's societies that taught young girls how to become a woman and taught them the various tools of life that would carry them through life, enabling them to become great mothers and wives, and also to be caregivers, so they can learn medicinal care, herbology, how to deal with the spirits, and to transcend and mediate between those ancestors that have passed and those that we are living now. Africa is a country of secrets, and we are people of the spoken word that we have present in our society today. But those people of the spoken word, how we passed our religion and our principles, religious principles, and also those methods and principles of science and mathematics and sociology and ethics and standards that we have lived by for thousands of years. They were passed through spoken word. Those people who did this over the thousands of years, they were called griots, and it was their job. They were the historians of society, and they had incredible memories, and their job was to pass the information from grandfather to father to son and to grandson, and likewise on the maternal side of the granddaughter. And this is very important in these societies. There are many societies that are represented within my collection because, as I often tell people, the artifacts are, if you study and learn what they're about, not just collect them for their obvious aesthetic three-dimensional beauty, but also to go a step deeper and to understand and to study why did the artisans create them? How were they utilized? What was their purpose? What secrets can they tell us about our own history? The stories that each one of these pieces that you see around me can tell are incredible. And you will find by studying those pieces, which I have, because along with my collection I built a massive library, which is just as important as the collection itself, because it tells the story of what these pieces represent, and how and why they are so important to us as a people. Because how I got involved with this as a youngster through my father telling me stories about Africa and its importance and why I had to know it, even though from his point of view, he told these stories to myself and my brother for the most part because he wanted to inoculate us against the racism he knew we would encounter in the New York City public school system. And he wanted us to know, and my mother wanted us to know, that we were no better than anyone else, but we certainly were no lesser than anyone else. And they wanted us to know that whatever we could put our minds to and to focus on, we could do, we could accomplish. And that there should be no fear in accomplishment and reaching for the stars and for excellence, which Africans very much stood for. In any culture within Africa that you study, they stood for excellence in their societies, in their courts, and the royal courts, and the artisans that created these pieces. They belonged to guilds and societies and took many years of study through apprenticeships and so on and so forth. And it was no different than what you saw within medieval Europe, that the best artisans were employed by the royal courts and the kings and so on and so forth to create some of the most distinguished and beautiful pieces, and those pieces became symbols of power. So I have pieces within my collection that are just that belong to kings from like Benin and so, which they are symbols of power. and they stated the importance of the royal leader or king or chief of a particular village or kingdom. When his particular minister entered a room or went to, as an emissary, to visit another king or a chief, and when he took that symbol of power from a different kingdom representing that particular king, that they knew, in fact, this was someone that they had to bow to and respect and to converse with in diplomacy, if you will. Well, how a young person can feel empowered is by study. I would say what I would do, just in talking in general to young people, I would make the statement to them that by just studying at a cursory level what these pieces represent, and to understand why they were created and what powers in fact the pieces hold, because our ancestors instilled certain powers within certain pieces. This is part of our belief in our culture for thousands of years. And the certain pieces are in here, but overwhelmingly the pieces I have within my collection, they're protective pieces. So there were religious ceremonies that were done when many of these pieces were created, whether for what we call initiation purposes, or for funerary purposes, or for healing purposes. They were instilled with certain powers, and through various ceremonies, those pieces can be awakened to protect you, to keep harm from you, and also to understand that the people that created these pieces had very strict skill sets. And one of the things you learn about studying African art, you'll pick up any piece and you could turn it upside down or look in the back of it. There are no signatures on these pieces. This is very different from other art forms, particularly European art in the world, because these pieces were created for sacred reasons. For example, the Abeji figures, they're very sacred pieces, what we call the twin pairs, which were created for the people of Nigeria, in particular the Yoruba tribe, which has the highest incidence of natural twin births in the world. And their belief system is that twins share a common soul, so there's one soul. So if a twin becomes sick, or if a twin passes away, they create these, what we call Abeji dolls. I have a very large collection of these dolls, antique dolls. And these dolls were given to the mother one at a time to incorporate the soul of the deceased twin. And that particular mother would take care of that doll as if that twin was still alive. And that would help nourish the soul of the living twin. And they're highly coveted and collected all over the world. So the point is that what this collection will do, and a very important thing I should add, is that if you look through certain things within the collection, like I point out sometimes the young people, if you look at simple things like the sandals from the different peoples of Africa, from north to south, east to west, whether they're from Egypt or if they're from the Sudan. If you look at the combs, whether they're from Namibia, or if you look at the funerary rites and how the rituals and how the dead are taken care of and nurtured or embalmed or buried, and the rites that take place throughout Africa, from Egypt to South America or to Ghana. It doesn't matter. Sierra Leone. You'll find out there are certain things that are taking place within the continent of Africa, north to south, east to west. They are the same. So these are from people who migrated through Africa, who emanated from various different tribes or peoples, and through various migrations, the Bantu migrations, and so on and so forth. that their customs and their basic traditions and how they do things are the same. And if you study these people even deeper and you find out their contributions to the world and mankind in physics and sociology and mathematics and science and medicine and herbology, all big pharmaceutical companies like Pfizer and so forth in this country, and the remedies that they have packaged and marketed for billions, if not trillions of dollars, you'll find out that so many of those medicines came from herbs that the Africans and the Babalawos and the religious men and the healers were using in Africa for thousands of years. And they were discovered and packaged in the West. So you'll find out that our contribution to the world in various disciplines, if you study the history, going back from the different kingdoms and the migrations and the peoples of Africa, you'll find out that our contributions came much earlier by a magnitude of thousands of years before they were ever discovered in the West or the East. And those stories can be learned amazingly through the study of the artifacts and going back to their creations in the peoples and the kingdoms, many of which don't exist today, such as the Nok kingdom of this piece that is sitting on the side to the left of me, that's been carbon dated, thermoluminescence tested for over 2,000 years, that came from a kingdom in northern Nigeria. And you'll find by studying these pieces, you'll see the similarities from the northern kingdoms of Africa, like Egypt, and if you look at like in various doors, like I have doors downstairs that are carved very intricately and that are very old. And these doors tell stories through the carvings, and they're very similar to the hieroglyphs that we see in England or from other kingdoms in Africa, such as from Carthage and where Hannibal came from. There are so many similarities that you clearly see through the study that these are one people, even though through